Let's go back to one of our stories we're following tonight on the Alberta wildfires. And for more on the situation in Alberta, I'm joined by Armel Castellan, warning preparedness meteorologist with Environment and Climate Change Canada. Armel, thanks for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So just a few moments ago, we kind of showed a map which showed the smoke moving from out west over the territories, over toward Ontario, really just across the country. What are you seeing right now in terms of the smoke from these wildfires?
Yeah, we're seeing the smoke that's already, several days in the making its way right across the continent. And this is something we see fairly commonly. Sometimes it comes over from Siberia and makes it to the West Coast. Other times it's West Coast smoke that's going to make its way to the Maritimes, Ontario, even to the US. So this is something that happens. The smoke gets caught in the upper atmosphere and then has a highway to make its way big distances.
And so when we're talking about that smoke, I mean, it does make its way big distances, and we've seen this before. I'm just going to talk specifically about Ontario for a second because that's where we're based. We've seen it before from wildfires out west. I mean, are we seeing the brunt of it right now, or can we expect it to maybe even get a little thicker and a little worse in the next couple of days?
Yeah, what you're seeing right now is the smoke caught in the upper atmosphere, or at least the middle atmosphere. So it's actually not making its way down to where people live, which is the fortunate thing. And it's not projected to go there, at least in the coming days. And in fact, it's going to move away into the Maritimes as we go into later tomorrow. So you're going to see, the really, I guess, red sunset sunrises, because if you don't have too much in the way of clouds, you will see that smoke. You might even smell it, but generally speaking, the values are really low and they're not being registered in Ontario at this time.
Okay, so then at this point, I guess we're not looking at potential, serious air quality concerns for this area, at least.
That's right. This is an extraordinarily early start to the wildfire season out west, and there's a lot of smoke that could still come out of this because we are going into a very warm anomaly here for the next week, 10 days. Well into next week, we're going to see record-breaking temperatures for the daytime highs. Fortunately, we've got a little bit of respite overnight, so it's not a health concern. But with that are going to come, only exacerbating conditions for the wildfire situation. So it's certainly going to get worse before it gets better. And I hope in that case, it doesn't affect everybody across the country with poor air quality.
I'm not sure how much you can speak about this because I understand you're not a medical expert or a doctor by any means, but we all know, I think we all know at this point, that feeling of when the smoke really starts to affect us. But how can it affect our health?
That's a really good question, and we work really closely with our health partners, both at Health Canada and the provincial scale, and we've developed what's called the Air Quality Health Index, so that everybody who is affected by smoke, which is literally everybody because it goes everywhere, you can kind of shelter yourself in clean air environments, which is definitely one of the recommendations. You need to follow that index, from 1 to 10, find out where you're going to be on it. Currently, it's going to be in the low category for Toronto and projected to be that way for the next couple of days. But if you're worried about it, or that you need to be worried about it, whether you're asthmatic, you've got certain heart and lung conditions, pregnant, if you're young, if you're old, those are a lot of the slice of the population that should be keeping an eye out on the Air Quality Health Index, which does track fine particulate matter, also known as smoke, and give you a sense of how you can adjust your behavior over the coming days.
And just quickly before I let you go, Armel, adjust behavior by maybe staying inside a little bit more?
That's correct. Staying inside, maybe even if you're a healthy, adult and you want to change when you might go exercise outside, that would be one thing. Would you open the windows to get cooler air in, but there's poor air quality outside? Maybe you will keep your windows closed and seek some shelter, get the filters, the HEPA filters that are recommended by the health community in order to ameliorate your indoor air quality. And it does, to the extent of going to public facilities, libraries, malls, community centers, in order to get respite, whether it's from the heat, from the smoke, or both, depending on the situation.
Armel, so good to get your insight into this. Thank you for taking the time tonight. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Take care. Have a good one.
And that's Armel Castellan, warning preparedness meteorologist with Environment and Climate Change Canada.